Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rachelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right Podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely and talented, got your best Carol Baskets shirt on tonight, Miss Southern Shell.
Hey,
I like that. I like that. Is that cheetah print, leopard print? I don't know. I don't know my big cats well enough. I know stripes is tigers. Did you hear they had a corona positive tiger up in New York? You believe it?
whatever.
I don't believe it.
Where'd you see that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't see
tell
him.
you.
They hadn't asked Trump about that I've seen in one of his mini press conferences, daily updates.
They did ask him about Joe Exotic,
They did.
which I thought that was funny.
I was watching that.
My favorite thing was he said, "Did Eric bring this up?"
No, it was Don. It was
It's
Don.
Don.
It had to be Don. That's what he said. He wouldn't address it. He said he might look into it. Free Joe Exotic.
Let me tell you, I was feeling a little down this morning, and I saw this hanging up in my closet, and I said, "You know what? I'm putting on that daggum
Carol
basket sweater, and we're fixing to rock today.
That's right.
I'm gonna give it all I got."
Give it all you got. We are. We're here recording a podcast. We don't know if the video is going to work. We've
had
trying.
some serious technical
The
difficulties.
internet must be down. I don't know if they're throttling or so many people on it, but we're at the office and it's not cooperating.
We've
So,
had multiple technical difficulties today.
yeah, forgot the recorder, so we had to go back to the house and get it. And now we're recording something. I don't know what it is, but I'm talking to this microphone. Dadgummit, something's recording. It's about to be ready to choke this thing.
Your beard trimmer went out
Beard
today.
trimmer went out, so you had to. Should have gave me a nice scissor. That's the first scissor beard trimmer I've ever had.
I thought I did a pretty good job.
It does look pretty good.
That's some quarantine
Heck yeah! I just
grooming right there.
my hair's growing out. I can't go see my girl, man.
I don't
I can't
know
go
about
to
your
the
hair.
man
Your hair
cave.
looks fine, a little shaggy.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Beard though, it starts getting itchy, and
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
yeah, I can see that.
But we're talking Easter this week.
Honey smoked turkey was your
Honey
recipe
smoked
this
turkey.
week.
It was, and that was my take on. I know everybody's seen or heard of the honey baked ham. Well, they do a honey baked turkey
Yeah.
too that you can order from, and it's really good. I mean,
I was gonna
if you
order.
can't cook one yourself,
Yeah, I was gonna order one and send it to my mom. And they were completely sold out. Like this is a week and a half ago. They were completely sold out of everything.
yeah.
Sides, turkeys, hams.
So you can't get nothing from. I wonder if they shut down or just volume.
I think
Everybody's
it's
home.
just volume.
Yeah, probably so. But anyway, I've done my version of the honey baked, honey smoked
Yeah,
ham.
yeah.
This week was my version of the honey smoked turkey breast. And what it is, I take a raw turkey breast and I use the same ones that I had gotten from Kevin down at the butcher shop. They're big farm raised turkeys. I don't know how big this turkey is, but the breast on it's huge. So, I mean, you can imagine it had to be a monster turkey. I'm talking, that thing had to be 25 pounds plus to have turkey breasts like that. But they're excellent.
So where would you get that turkey breast if you weren't?
I would go to
Didn't have a
Kroger or
butcher.
Walmart and buy the biggest deadgum turkey I could find, thaw it out, and cut the breast off of
Yeah.
it myself.
A
And
lot
you
of
get some monster ones that way. But I mean, they put them turkeys on sale, especially around Thanksgiving, for 29 cents a pound.
What are they right now? Could you find a turkey right now? A turkey breast
Yeah,
right
I
now?
don't know if you can find a quarantine turkey or not. I don't know what they're doing
It's
with
slim
them.
pickings with everything.
Heck
right
yeah,
now.
you're lucky to get some bread and bologna. We did find hams. We got us a ham, and
yeah.
I'm cooking that Saturday. We'll talk about that later. But for these turkey breasts, you could do this recipe with any turkey breast. You could do it with chicken breast. It will work.
Oh, yeah.
It's just about getting the meat cooked to the proper temperature and glazing it at the end. This glaze works on a ham. It'd be great on turkey. Heck, I need to do a honey baked ribs. Why not? I bet it'd be a pork loin. I guarantee it'd be good.
Now honey baked
You
pork
could,
loin. would be good, yeah.
that might be another day to do it. Something else.
You use the
but-
Swine Life Mississippi grind.
I did. It's my go-to on chicken or turkey or poultry. I love it because it's not too salty, it's not too sweet, and it has really good color. Has a lot of good savory notes. It even has a little bit of a fruit flavor. They've got to have some kind of peach or.
citrus.
I never got something. I never got them to tell me what flavor they put in their secret recipe for it.
And
But it
it's good
has those
color.
notes, and it gives beautiful color to the outside of poultry. And so all I did was take my turkey breast, thawed them out because they were froze. thawed them out, pulled the skin off of them, trimmed them up just a little bit, any, excess fat or hanging off. I wanted it to cook even. And then I wiped them real good with paper towels, got them dry as possible, coated them with the swine life rub, mixed up an injection. Now, I did the injection so I could get some flavor and some more moisture on the inside. And I used just Butcher's Bird Booster honey. Everybody knows Butcher's that knows the competition world from cooking chickens. But I mean, if you didn't have Butcher's or didn't want to use a commercial product like that, you could use chicken broth, butter, little honey to sweeten it up. You want to put a little hot sauce. You could do. I've got recipes for like a Cajun turkey injection. Yeah. Any of that would work. Just straight chicken broth would work. Heck, I probably wouldn't shoot straight butter because it'll stay in there. You need to cut it with something. But I was like one cup of chicken broth, half a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of butter, or 4. That would be a double batch. 4 tablespoons would be probably a double batch.
Maybe it was 2. I forgot what the recipe you gave was.
But that was just one that I had used a basic extra, buttery chicken injection.
But you could take that recipe and add
make
seasonings.
It your own. You could make you wouldn't need to salt it any because I use the chicken broth that it's pretty salty on its own.
Yeah.
But definitely you could add if you wanted to put some herbs or garlic or something, onion powder to it, anything that was going to dissolve and give it some more flavor. Hey, you could throw some poultry herbs in there and let it soak overnight or something to draw out some flavors and take it. Yeah, you could brine them. That would have been great too.
Would you have brined and injected?
No, I probably wouldn't do both.
You just do one of those.
Yeah, if you're going to soak them, I'd let them soak, at least 4 or 5 hours, and that would have been sufficient too. But I mean, I was like, hey, why not shoot them up with this Bird Booster honey? I'm doing honey.
You want to play with your injector gun too.
Yeah, it was a honey roasted turkey anyway, or smoked. So why not do the honey injection? That was what I was thinking. I got it in my pantry. I'm not getting to do comps. I'm not getting to shoot at my chicken thighs. I might as well put it in my turkey breast. And so I did. And then it goes on the pit. And I cooked it on my Traeger. You could cook this one on anything.
This one would be easy to replicate on any
grill.
You
could do it on a Weber. You could do it on PK, you could do it on a pellet grill, a regular smoker, eat a drum.
Would you always cook it at the 300?
Yeah. I think that's the right temp to get it. It's a good even cook on it, and it's going to get the outside that pretty golden color.
Yeah.
Now, also, started basting it with just melted butter to help it brown on the outside, to help that rub the rub kind of sticks to it, and to keep it from getting too dry or, looking off color or something, I basted it with that butter, and it just kind of turns it that golden look on the outside. It looked good before I glazed
beautiful. It. Does the butter add a lot of flavor?
It adds richness, definitely. Definitely. I would say yeah. And it's really good. I mean, it's really good.
I'm not saying.
How can butter basted anything be
You
bad?
said, what do you think about basting it with butter? I was like, yes.
Do it.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And so all at that point, all you're doing is cooking it to a doneness now.
Yeah.
So I know that my turkey's going to be done at 160. Since I was going to glaze it 10 degrees before my target is when I started glazing, and I mixed up like a sweet glue first. That's really what it was.
Call it a sweet glue.
It was brown sugar, some honey, and just a little orange juice, a dab of orange juice and a dab of apple juice, like a tablespoon each.
Is that the exact recipe that you use for your honey baked ham recipe? Or very,
so
very
long
similar?
since I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was something like that. I don't really remember, but this was just, I was like, all I need is a glue. So I was using brown sugar and honey to make my glue. That's the honey part of it. And then to come back for the texture and the sweet crunch, I used turbinado or sugar in the raw. That's what the brand was if you buy it. And I just put that in a little dredge and just dusted it all over the top. And what that does, that sugar is a raw sugar, so it kind of holds its form a little better than just straight melted. Like you just put brown sugar or something like that.
It gives you more texture too.
It's all about the texture.
Yeah. And then
so it needed about 10 degrees, which was about another 30 minutes. And I didn't baste it anymore or anything. I just let the heat kind of melt that sugar and do what it does. And the sweet glue made it all stick. And it kind of melted down some, but it leaves a crunchy texture and just kind of shellacks over the top of it.
It's good.
And then when you cut it, it stays on the outside. And
it's baked on.
It's so good. Then you just let it rest and cut it up. Because you let it carry over. I took it to 160.
That's what I was going to say. So 160.
160.
Would you recommend if you were doing a chicken breast to only take it to 160?
Probably so. And
really?
And I think I was talking with Mark about this recipe, and he's like, "Man, I bet you could even take it off at 155 and let it carry over if you'd have been even more juicier." But it was not dry at all.
Is it the size that allows you to pull it off earlier?
Or I just think it's a big piece and it's going to carry over. Okay. It's not going to have any trouble carrying over, and it's been on there long enough to be fully done. but I wouldn't want to take it to 165 because I'd be afraid to dry it out. So
Yeah. Because then it'd be.
and then if I knew I was going to
170 or
reheat it, like say you were cooking that a couple of days before and you wanted to reheat it, I probably would stop at about 155 too. And you could always say glaze it at 145. You know, it's just know that you got a little 10 degree swing about 30 minutes
You
more.
need that 20.
The last 30 minutes you're going to leave it on there, glaze it, and that way when you finish it off, it'll be just right and it'll be juicy. But we made some killer sandwiches. I took one to my mom and dad. You know, we put some in the freezer. I mean, it's such a good turkey.
It was very, very good.
You know, we still have one of those Texas turkey breast in there too that we froze.
When we found,
It's vacuum sealed
it's
up.
completely cooked.
I need to get that out and cut it up for some Texas turkey sandwiches.
It's so good. It's that. I don't know if it's that brand of turkey breast or if it's just you smoking those turkey. I don't know.
What was that? What was it called? Something Ranch.
It started with a C.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at the video.
Chutney or
it's something Ranch. I don't know. All I know is call Kevin, tell him you want those same turkey breasts that Malcolm cooked, and they come in this big pack wrapped up as two breasts, skin on, boneless, wrapped up in full with that label and vacuum sealed, and he ships them to you. You thaw them out, and it's best turkey. It makes so much turkey meat. I mean, it's so good.
Especially if you cook
and
both.
You can't mess them up if you don't overcook them. That's the only thing you could mess it up.
You use that new shaker.
I did. That's a new dredge that we added to our shop, and I love it because it comes with 3 different size holes, so you can do fine stuff, medium stuff, or big coarse stuff like that turbinado. Nope. It's completely washable. You don't have to worry about it rusting or anything.
That was my problem with the stainless shakers.
Hard to get the lid off those sometimes.
Yeah, you had to pop them and turn them. And
Heath turned me onto that style shaker. He uses them all the time for his comp trailer. I was like, man, I really like that plastic better than I've always used the metal.
Yeah,
just because I thought
years.
it looked great, but it does. They get nasty. They kind of get funky a little bit. You know, something built. If you leave them sitting in a trailer, the sugars melt and it all corrodes up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the metal one. But
you just have to take better care of them. You can't just throw them in a dishwasher and throw them in the cabinet and stuff.
They need, you know what they need to make though? They need to make a solid lid for it. I need to see if I can source some, because that way you could leave your seasons in it, put a solid lid over it. Yeah,
we'd always put a piece of like saran wrap underneath and then
and close it up. Yeah, you could do that.
So you actually made a leftover honey smoked turkey sandwich for us. What did you put on it?
Man,
it was so good.
Lots of mayonnaise, and American cheese, and turkey, cold out of the refrigerator. Man, it was so good.
Sunbeam white bread.
Some Sunbeam light bread. Man, it was good.
It was so good. I took a bite. I was like, God, this is
how a turkey sandwich is supposed to be. And you can still taste some of the, the outside of the seasonings, a little bit of sweetness, but it went with the mayo and the American cheese. It was just, it was missing like lettuce.
Yeah.
Some fresh garden tomato.
That would have really.
We're going to get some tomato plants.
Okay.
Just put them in some of your flower pots.
Okay. That
was random, but I'm ready for some July summer tomatoes.
What would you do differently?
Man, nothing. You asked me that, and I need to come up with some different answers. I guess I need to put some thought into what would I do differently.
Would you have pulled it at 155?
No, I probably wouldn't have. I'd like to taste that thing on a drum where it's dripping and really getting some, some real smoke, because it's mild smoke flavor on the pellet grill. Pellet grill makes it real pretty and cooks it perfectly. And it's easy. Yeah. But man, if you'd have done that one, I know how good those Texas style one was on the stick burner.
Heck yeah.
So I was
they
thinking,
had that.
They had
a mild pit.
Yeah, this one. I mean, I guess. Do you want to eat a pit flavored?
That's what I was thinking.
Honey smoked town, or do you want it just more
mild flavor?
Yeah, with a little bit of smoke, because it had some smoke flavor. But it wasn't like overpowering. But if you put some wood to it, like I could throw some real pecan in there on some lump coal on a drum or something, I bet you it would have been really. I didn't try it.
Okay.
I got some. I mean, I could take a case of those turkey breasts. You could eat one a week because it's better than lunch meat.
Oh my gosh, it'll ruin you.
You'll never want to buy turkey from the daggum store again. Cook that, and if you had a shaver or a meat slicer, deli slicer, and cut it up yourself, oh man, it's the best turkey.
That'd be a good Christmas gift for you.
It would, a good one though.
Yeah, like a real high quality one.
Yeah.
Because we've had some crappy ones before, but they just...
Problem space. I mean, how many times are you really going to use it to store it? I mean...
You need a better place to
I'd set
store
it right in there by my sausage stuffer and my sausage grinder that I'd use once or twice a year. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I need me a meat processing room, and walk-in cooler, and all that. Just
I agree. You need it outside of the kitchen.
yeah.
So let's talk about everything you've been cooking since last
Man,
Friday.
that seems like that's all I've been doing.
It is.
So we did we talked about our delicious dinner last week we was going to do.
Yeah.
I did that. And we,
Grilled chicken
it was
breast.
good. It's standard chicken. You can't mess that one up.
Yeah, you used
The
my life
highlight-
again.
The highlight of that is really the sweet potatoes and the broccoli
Yeah.
with that spicy Dijon honey glaze.
And you can do those in the oven. You could do the chicken in the oven,
Yeah,
really.
you could.
But that's
You
a
know,
great little recipe.
you know what? That Dijon glaze is so good. I may use that as a binder on my ham, and then
Okay.
put the turbinado and try that.
See what it's
So
like.
I don't know. I got something to think about there. I love that glaze. You know, the mustard goes with the ham too.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I've used like honey mustard on the outside of a ham and
You
put
have a
seasoning on
recipe
it.
where you use
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that was one of the first, original back in the day.
That's how you used to do
I do them.
hams.
We rub them all down with the mustard, and the honey mustard, and then sprinkle them, and then put them on there and smoke them, and then wrap them up, and then
They were good.
all that.
Yeah.
And then make up a glaze at the end, and squeeze over them. But the star of the broccoli and sweet potatoes, it's it's super simple. I mean, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
What was it like? Little Dijon mustard, some honey,
Honey, Dijon mustard, and seasonings.
yeah, a little cayenne to give it a pinch.
Yeah.
a
Paprika, onion, garlic.
Did it have
black
crushed red pepper? No, it didn't have crushed red pepper, did it?
Just a cayenne, but that's really optional. You
Yeah.
don't have to add that. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It's not enough where
I do too.
you can tell it's heat.
But
It just wakes up the flavors.
and that's if you want to say healthy dinner, that's more. We try to eat that. At least we probably do eat that once or twice a week. Usually, not twice, but once.
I'd say 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah, we do the chicken and the broccoli
Yeah,
and, the,
yeah.
and the sweet potato.
I actually adapted that recipe
It's a good
from
one.
a Whole30 recipe. So-
Was it?
Or a Weight Watchers recipe, one of the two.
Try to trickle me in on me.
You'll
I like
never
it,
know
though.
the difference.
I do like it though. It is really good. So if you're more trying to watch what you're doing, the chicken's not bad.
Or if you want to snake some veg,
You can
in
pull
on the
that skin
kids.
off that chicken,
Yeah.
and you can get the kids to eat that chicken because it's got honey mustard on it. And they'll love it.
Yeah. Or eat the veg. It's got
Yeah,
honey mustard
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
That sauce will be glazed over the chicken. I've never done that. I mean, we've always drizzled
Oh,
over
yeah.
vegetables, but it'd make a good chicken glaze.
You could do anything with it. It's real
Yeah.
simple.
It is.
So you did then Saturday. We cooked all day Saturday.
We did another Insta Saturday
Mm-hmm.
where first I got up early that morning and put on some pork butts. I had a buddy that asked me to cook some pork butts for him, and he dropped them off Friday night. And then I had one that I was cooking anyway. So
We called
put-
it the baby butt.
the baby,
It was a
a
teeny
baby
tiny
butt.
little
Oh, it's
baby
perfect though. It was what we got on Click List. And when you order a Click List butt, you never know what you're going to get. So I think it might have weighed maybe 5 pounds, like 4.96 or something. Well,
But
it was good. It was
yeah.
good. Yeah. So I cooked his two, the monster ones, and I cooked mine, and we put them on the drum.
Yeah.
And man, they were
It
good.
was so good. That was some of the better pulled pork you've done. In
It was
a while.
classic. It was my, if I had to say a never fail pulled pork recipe, that's what it was. And I hadn't cooked pulled pork in so long. I forgot. I mean, I ain't gonna say I forgot how good it was. I'm wanting some more. So next week, that's what the video I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my never failed, easy peasy, whatever you want to call it.
How to make pulled pork sandwiches.
pork butt recipe.
Yeah.
It ain't necessarily you can make sandwiches, nachos, whatever you want to make out of it. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
See, I
next
want you
week.
to say pulled pork sandwiches because I think people search for that.
Oh, you think they do? Pulled pork. I want to make my never failed, easy peasy pulled pork sandwich. Google. Oh, I kicked the table on that one. But that's what
You
I'm
got
doing
a
next
little too
week.
excited
Got too
on that
excited on that one, yeah. And we're going to do a coleslaw, I guess.
Yeah,
We got some
coleslaw and do a sandwich.
If our click list will get ready, have they
I can't
called
make
you
any
yet and told you?
promises. No.
But so that's what next week is. So that was starting out. That was early. That
Yeah,
was
what time
like
did you get up?
6. So I got up with the fire, got the butts out of the fridge, seasoned them up, put them on. And then you got up and we had some coffee and went outside to start the Instagram stuff. So we started doing the, my breakfast, and I did that's where I did the quesadillas. and I didn't get the shells that I wanted on our grocery order. They didn't have them, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had to use some mini.
You wanted big shells.
I wanted a full-size burrito shell where I could make a full fold-over quesadilla.
Yeah.
But I did the little, and it's still a quesadilla. It's just a double stack.
Yeah.
Where you got to flip it. And so I used the little soft taco, taco size or fajita size shells. And I took some of my mom's sausage, browned it up on the iron skillet right there
Just
on the PK.
Regular breakfast sausage.
Regular, a little spicy, a little sagey, country style breakfast sausage.
Yeah. Instead of chorizo.
Yeah, you could have used chorizo. You can use whatever kind of sausage you want crumbled up.
Yeah. But I like the idea of the breakfast.
Since it's breakfast, I use breakfast sausage. That's what I eat. Gringo style. Chorizo might have been real Mexican, authentic style.
Yeah.
I did.
It'd have been too
I did
real.
gringo style, yeah. Then I scrambled up some eggs. I fried up some sliced jalapenos, put a little oil on there, fried them up. That brought some heat to it.
Yeah.
And then
Crunch.
once I had everything cooked, all it was pretty much browning the tortilla and melting the cheese. So I used like a flat cast iron skillet. That's what I was cooking everything on. And then I took a little bit of mayo and brushed on the outside of the tortilla shell. That's the secret. That's the pro tip that makes it brown.
Mm-hmm.
And it really works and it makes it really good. Another pro tip is sprinkle you a little Grande Gringo on that mayo or Mexican season, whatever you like. But
that was something we were doing a little R&D while we were cooking.
yeah, that's what I've been using those
yeah.
Saturdays for. But that gives it some flavor. It really makes it taste good.
And it gives a little crunch on the outside.
It does.
We were just playing around, and I said, let's add a little Grande Gringo to that, and we forgot about it, so I just put it on the outside of the crust, and when we flipped it, it got crunchy, and
oh, so good.
It gave it such a good flavor. So I want you to turn that into a recipe.
Yeah, I'm going to. So the tortilla with the mayonnaise and the gringo goes down on the skillet.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put your little cheese around it, all over it, so it'll melt. It'll start melting. That's the glue. Sausage, egg, jalapeno, a little more cheese, another shell on top that you brush the top of that, the outer surface of that with a little mayo, a little more gringo. Then you let it set for 2 or 3 minutes. Raise it up, see if it's browning. As soon as it browns, carefully flip it over fast. Excuse me. And then it's ready. After 3 or 4 more minutes, you take them off. And then the time you knock out 3 or 4 of those and serve it with some sour cream and some pico or some salsa or whatever, you've got a heck of a breakfast. It was really good.
We were cutting them into fourths.
Yeah, that's how you'd want to do it. It's kind of like, it reminded you of a little breakfast taco pizza from, you ever had that little crunchy one that Taco Bell serves? Oh man, the Mexican pizza.
For breakfast?
No, they don't serve it for breakfast. It's just
yeah,
one of those late night things you get at Taco Bell, but it's crunchy. Exactly that's kind of what this was, had those elements, but it was really good. This is a breakfast version, quesadilla.
I thought it was.
That's the one for the books.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was definitely an R&D. I've never done it before, but it was really good.
And then you started cooking wings.
Then I moved on to chicken wings.
Wings 3 ways.
You made homemade ranch.
Yep. Always got to.
It's super easy and thick and stands up to a wing. You can set a wing on it and the wing ain't going to fall in. That's what I like about it. Stand your celery up in it, And then I did wings. So the first ones I did were...
This recipe I want you to turn into a real recipe too.
The chicken wing lollipops?
Yes. Have you ever seen anybody lollipop chicken wings before?
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that.
Okay.
But it's just like doing legs, you just do it with wings.
Yeah.
The drums or the drumettes, either one. If you do the drumettes, you have to kind of cut the top, work the little bone out, and then push it all down along the bigger bone. Turn that into the lollipop. Or the drumettes, you just kind of ring around the small end of the bone, push all, and grab a paper towel and push all the meat down to the big end, and then the bone will be clean and standing up, and so it gives you like this little clean handle. It looks like a lollipop.
Yeah. And
all I did was season them with a little hot rub and stuck them on a rack and just put them on the Traeger at 325 and then let them cook. And I think I cooked about maybe an hour. And
really, it took that long?
Yeah, it might not have been. It was right at an hour. I wasn't running times. I was doing so much stuff.
Yeah, we were doing other things.
But I had a thermopin, so when I saw they were getting about 165, 175, that's when I glazed them. And the glaze,
what'd you glaze them with?
A firecracker sauce. And that stuff is so good, man.
It's so easy.
I did that one a long time ago. I called it firecracker chicken. I think I did it on the egg, if I remember
It was
right.
like a 4th of July recipe.
Yeah, years ago.
Years ago.
At our old house, Yellow Kitchen.
Yeah.
It might have been before. It was back Yellow Kitchen days.
Yeah.
And all it is, it's a bottle of hot sauce, some brown sugar, and a little bit of cayenne and a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. And that's all it is. I'm pretty sure. It's not.
I'll pull it up real quick, but go ahead.
But it's so simple. It's a simple sauce. And when you put it on chicken, man, it coats it and it brings some heat to it. But the sweet kind of balances it out. The vinegars and the hot sauce. I mean, it's just it
worked really well on wings.
It's a really, really good wing sauce. I mean, and all I did was dip when I got the temp up on those lollipops. I dunked them in it like I had it in a little pot. I only warm it up. I don't really bring it to a simmer or anything. I just start bringing it up to where it's warm and the sugars have melted. That's all you want, because you want it kind of syrupy.
It's brown sugar, hot sauce, apple cider vinegar.
Oh, that's what
salt and red pepper.
Okay,
flakes.
how much? It's not much vinegar because there's vinegar.
It's only a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of red pepper flakes.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So it's half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of hot sauce, and we used Killer Hogs, but you could use Frank's or any other mild hot sauce. Tablespoon of apple cider, and then salt and
cayenne and red pepper.
No, it was no cayenne. It's salt and red pepper flakes.
Okay, no
extra.
If you want to kick it up even more,
kick it up anymore.
That's what cayenne. That's what I'd make it. What do they call them? Big M80s. That'd make it super firecrackers.
What'd you say the other day about making it a sparkler?
Yeah, that's what I told Greg Rippey. He was asking me about it. I said you can leave that out. It's just a sparkler. It's not a firecracker no more. If you don't put the red pepper flake and all that in it, make the mild version. But it's awesome on wings. So those were the first ones I did. And the next wings, I did Mark's recipe from Swine Life on the Parmesan wings. And what he does, he takes like just the old, the one you used to put on Mama spaghetti. It's just ground up Parmesan.
Cheap
comes
Parmesan
in plastic.
cheese.
Yeah.
He says the cheaper the better.
Yeah, you mix that with some of his Swine Life grind. And what else did he put in there? He had a few other things in there. I used straight off his recipe off his website.
Yeah. He's got
go to his YouTube. Go to his YouTube channel and watch it. It's a really good wing recipe. But you hit his wings with that. Put them on the pellet grill at like 325. Flip them. Hit them with the rub a few more times. And when they're about 198, 200 degrees, take them off.
They're real crispy.
What it does, if you think of like shake and bake chicken, it's kind of like a Parmesan shake and bake chicken.
Chicken wing, yeah.
Yeah, because it gets crunchy. It makes it crust.
It's a little salty and
you don't need a lot of seasoning because
Yeah.
of that kind of Parmesan cheese must have a ton of sodium or something in it because it's salty as it can be.
No, Parmesan cheese is salty
in general. Yeah, it's just the nature of it. But it's really good. It makes a great crust on wings.
And then
they actually do something similar for salmon. Emily does and swears by it.
Yeah.
So I'm not, huge on salmon, but I'd try it with Parmesan cheese crust.
They have a recipe on that too.
Yeah, I got to try that one next.
So then the third wing.
Third wing was the old, probably the best wings I cooked.
The Vortex.
I mean, a Vortex wing is just amazing. I mean, it really is. I put nothing, just some little bit of barbecue rub on them, spread the wings out on the Weber and the Vortex, put me a piece of wood over it, 15, 20 minutes, flip them, 15, 20 more minutes, they're done, super fast. And then...
Well, it depends on how many, that's something we learned.
Yeah, it's all in the airflow on the, if you pack it full, it's going to take longer. But if you just spread them out and give them all room to roll, that Vortex will roll them. And then, but the key to those was I used Cosmo's buffalo dry chicken wing seasoning. And as soon as they come off the grill, while they're still hot, you hit them with that seasoning a little bit. I put it in the dredge too with the fine lid.
Yeah,
so
you
it got to because if you try to do it right out of the pack, you're going to burn yourself up or get it too salty.
Yeah, it
needs a dredge.
Yes, definitely.
So you dredge it over, just a light shake over the top, and it kind of melts it in, and it's almost like a dry sauce.
It's a dry wing.
Dry chicken, yeah. But it's got the buffalo, like you tossed it in a sauce, and they're so good.
They're my favorite.
The bones jump out of them. I mean, it's just got...
I like a dry wing.
It gets crunchy from... it's the closest... The Vortex on a Weber, or I know that's the only grill I've used on. I'm sure it'll work on others. But it's the closest you can get to really a fried wing on a grill, I think. I mean, I've done them, you know, where I experimented with coating them and made them crunchy with the cornstarch and all that. And it does. It makes it like a deep fried, like a crusted one.
It tastes like cornstarch to me.
Well, I mean, a little bit. It depends on how much you get. But if you just want, like, say you took a chicken wing in oil, that's what the texture reminds me of on the Vortex, except it tastes like it's been grilled. It cooks that. I guess the temp gets so hot on the skin, it just kind of air fries it like those air fryers do. I love it. Of all three of those, it'd be hard to pick. I mean,
they were all good.
But the Vortex, first off, it has the smoke from that piece of wood on there that's really getting in it, so it tastes like it's been grilled or smoked. You're not going to get that on the pellet grill. And then, I mean, the lollipops were good. I think I would have loved to have done the Vortex. I'd like to do lollipops on the Vortex with the firecracker sauce.
Yeah.
And see what that's like. That would have been really good.
Was that all we cooked on Saturday?
And you did potato salad.
That was Sunday.
Oh, was that Sunday?
So Sunday we reheated up the pulled pork and did like very traditional. Like we did coleslaw, baked beans, and potato salad.
And you made pancakes for breakfast.
Yeah.
That was a highlight of my week. They come pancakes. Man, we'll never get homemade pancakes. You broke out the old school, what's
griddle.
that big long thing called? The griddle? The electric griddle. Had them pancaked up.
You can't be traveling too much.
We had pancakes, we had sausage, and we had orange juice. And that might be one of my favorite breakfasts.
It's been years.
I love
it's been at least 1 year since I made pancakes.
I don't know if your pancakes are good. Were they better than the quesadilla? I don't know. It's a hard call. Can't compare that.
You can't compare.
It was great because I didn't have to cook them. I got to drink my coffee and have me some orange juice and eat pancakes with blackburn syrup. Oh man, and some butter that you just like get to room temperature and it just melt when you got it on there.
I wasn't happy with the texture of the pancakes. I let Michael mix them up, and
I thought they were good.
I thought they needed a little more air.
That IHOP beat. That was better than the big breakfast at McDonald's.
Hey, that's. I like the big breakfast at McDonald's. I'm not very much on breakfast, but so you also cooked beef ribs this week.
Yes. Okay. So that got us into.
Well, see, what had happened was we were cleaning out the freezer and we found these beef ribs, and the seal had been broken on the vacuum. You know, so we knew that if they weren't already freezer burnt,
it wasn't gonna be long.
So
we thawed them out, and I got up one morning and put those on. All I put on them was some TX and a little bit of Holy Cow from Matt's rub, just for some color. Threw them on the Traeger because I was forgetting about them. I wasn't going to do anything. I just put it on like 180.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started them out super low, super smoke. It's got that super smoke setting. Punched that, and I think I remembered them about noon. They've been on for 4 hours. I put them on at like 8 noon. I went out there, sitting there at 180 smoking away. And I said, oh, man, they're looking good, you know. So I bumped it up to 225. Went back out there about 1, and they had the bark I wanted then. So that was like 6 hours in at that point or something like that. Then I wrapped them in butcher paper and
so
stuck
you didn't
the
baste
thermometer.
them?
I didn't do no. I was doing my daily work.
Thawed them,
put 2 seasonings on them, threw them out there on the pit for most of the day. Towards that afternoon, I wrapped them in butcher paper, stuck the dot in them, and set it for like 205. I think they hit 205. When I went back and looked, it was like 9 total hours of cooking. I was like, I never cooked beef ribs that long, but I never cooked them that low, you know, for so long. And then once they hit that, I threw them over in the dry cooler in my little party stacker. And then I just let them sit out there on the bar for 2 hours. And what was it, 6:30? I said, Shell, let's go cut them ribs up. And that's when I unwrapped them.
I said, let me get some footage, see if we can get some footage. And I said, if it doesn't turn out, we won't use it. Right. Well, it turned out.
Man, well, I knew when I picked it up, I was like, man, look at that. Did you see all that juice that was in there? I was like, how did that paper trap that much juice? Normally it absorbs it.
Yeah.
It was just a puddle.
Too much to absorb, I guess.
And then it was too much to absorb, yeah. And so I set them out, and I said, man, I can pull these bones out. And I just slid them out.
You wiggled.
Wiggled the board a little so they'd do their little shimmy shaking. And then I cut them up, and it was so rich.
They weren't freezer burnt. They didn't have a bad flavor. Did those come from the butcher shop too?
Yeah, but you know, you cannot beef ribs like that. I don't know if you can beat them. Like, it's just totally different than if you're talking about a rib. The best kind of rib to eat, you can't even put those in there. They're not. It's not fair. It's like that's better than brisket. It's.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
It's up there with like cheeks, beef cheeks, or something. You know, you got to compare that to pork belly. It's the ultimate. You know, it's like the ultimate.
That's when we talk about would you rather give up pork or beef. I think about things like that.
Yeah, man, I tell you. If I like beef bacon, I would say, but I could probably make some. You know, beef sausage is pretty good. I imagine you could make a beef breakfast sausage.
That's one thing.
You don't like beef sausage?
It's okay. It will never, ever, ever beat
pork sausage. Yeah.
I'm talking about the links. You know, I'm talking about like the Texas
like
style beef sausage. It's good, and I've had some really good beef sausage.
But it's still not better than pork, do you?
I
agree. That's why I can't come off. If it was just like, you can't have any more pork chops or, you know, maybe barbecue or, you know, whole hog, I'd say, but you tell me I can't have bacon and sausage and hog jowl and all the other good stuff. And man.
But you got to give up ribeyes on the other side. And beef ribs.
That's true. I don't know. You can't, I can't live with that. I can live without chicken maybe. You catch
no
me
wings.
What day? See, I can't do that either. Dadgummit. I ain't giving up meat.
I'm with you.
Something tells me I got to give up meat. We might as well just go and call it. I've had a good run. It's been, 45 good years.
You
can't eat meat no more. I say, crazy.
The beef ribs.
What's wrong with people?
Were rich.
Super rich.
And delicious. And you also did
I want some right now.
I know. You also did a stuffed venison backstrap this week.
I did. Because when I took out some deer meat. I needed to cook some. I've got plenty in there. So I took out a backstrap. And it's actually, I hadn't cooked all of it yet. It was a whole backstrap split in two.
So what'd you do with the other half?
I got it marinated, cut up into little butterfly fillets.
Oh, how long has it been marinating?
Since yesterday.
Okay.
I need to grill it when we get home, probably.
Okay.
That's probably what I'll throw on the grill. They're just few. I mean, it's like half a strap, but same size as that other one. But what I did for my stuff, and I was kind of R&D-ing a little bit. Jamie from Swine Life told me the way he does backstraps is instead of, a lot of people make pepper poppers with them, like cream cheese, jalapeno, deer meat, bacon. Well, he says he cuts a slit in it, but you leave a little bit of the corners not cut. So it's about, you cut all the way down except stopping short of the ends. Yeah, kind of canoe. And then he stuffs it with his cream cheese and jalapenos and extra cheddar or something, and then wraps it in bacon cookie.
Yeah, whatever you want.
So what I did was I had some mushrooms. They're like some baby portobello mushrooms that I needed to cook in the refrigerator. So I sliced them up, chopped them up, threw them in a little olive oil season with a little salt and pepper. And then I had instead of just putting slices of my jalapeno in there, I diced the jalapeno, seeds and all. Threw it in there with my mushrooms, let it soften them up, and pepper sprayed myself in the kitchen. It was like I was in there coughing. Mike was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I pepper sprayed myself." But I heated that up. Then I turned the heat off and put half a block of cream cheese in there in the skillet and let it melt. And I just stirred it all up till it was one consistency, like the stuffing. And then I tasted it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm onto something here." I said, "All it needs is some seasoning." So I pulled out King Crawl, hit it with that, probably 2 teaspoons to really give it some pop.
Yeah.
Some depth. And then that's what I stuck it in the fridge, put it in a bowl, stuck it in the refrigerator and let it cool. Then I took that stuffing and put it all inside
your deer canoe.
My deer canoe, the back piece of backstrap. And it's probably, 10 inches long.
Yeah.
I'd say 10, 12 inches long.
It's a log.
And then, I laid out some bacon and wrapped it all up around it and put it in some plastic wrap, stuck it in the refrigerator overnight. I wrapped it in plastic wrap real tight so it would keep that shape.
Yeah.
And then I knew, it'd kind of go back together. Everything would stay inside. The next day, I pulled out the plastic wrap, put it on a little tray, seasoned it with a little more of the King Crawl just to give the bacon some color on the outside. And it was 45 minutes at 325 on the Memphis grill. And the bacon was a beautiful brown. I said, I need to check the internals. I wasn't even watching it either. That's where I do my best work, when I'm not even watching stuff. And it was like, I stuck my thermopin in. It said, I had my dot. I was going to put my dot in it so I could stop it. And it said 130. I said, oh, that's perfect. And I took it off and let it rest. Perfect. And then I cut it, and you can see what, it was just.
You let it rest for a hot minute.
30 minutes, probably.
Yeah. By
the time you took pictures and everything, and then I cut it up.
You used those little meat spikes. What were those?
Brad from Grill Great sent me those when I ordered some replacement flat top pieces, the grates, the grill, whatever it is, the grill.
Griddles.
Yeah, the griddle. He's had those stuck in there, and they're like little bitty. They look like little metal thumbtacks, but they're to hold bacon around stuff or to hold stuff together. And I said, I'll stick it on there and I cooked it with those.
It worked really well.
Yeah, it worked great. That bacon didn't come off. Even when I sliced it, it didn't come off.
Yeah.
You can see in the picture on Instagram where it was the bacon still wrapped around it, browned up perfect. I mean, that was good. There's still a few pieces of that left.
Is that the day you made your John Prine post?
That was. I was sitting outside. I thought that was fitting. I like that song. It was
You're having your afternoon cocktail.
John Prine, unfortunately, COVID claimed him, and he was one of my favorites. He's one of Todd Snyder's favorites. He was buddies with him. He always wanted to follow him around. He was like his yes man when he got to be around him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said he would keep his mouth shut, just listen to John Prine, and he would get him cigarettes, Cokes, whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
They say he learned so much because that was kind of who he looked up to. He's a storyteller too.
Yeah, they're very similar.
So yeah,
that humor and storytelling.
So I was sitting outside at the bar and I said, you know what? That song he sings about, first thing he does, whatever, he's going to get him a vodka and ginger ale. I said, well, I'm going to pour one for OJP. And so I did, and I put a post on it. That's all it was. It's a good drink, though. What do you think? Did you have? You hadn't had one, had you? Vodka?
Yeah,
did you have one? They're good.
I had two.
You had two. So I sat out there, listened to that song, a couple more songs, had me a drink, and enjoyed the sunshine.
Yeah.
What else are you supposed to do when you're quarantined?
The song "In Spite of Ourselves" that he sings, I think it's with Irish Dement.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
That was going to be our if we were going to have a big wedding, it was going to be the song the song we dance to, like your first song or whatever. Is what? Do you remember us deciding on that?
I do. That's a good one.
It's a good one.
It is.
It's kind of our song a little.
He's got a ton of them.
What's
the one we like? Linda Goes to Mars. That's one of the good ones.
You can relate to that one too.
I can relate to that. Linda Goes to Mars. Whenever he's listening, he's looking at his used Otto books.
And she's in La La Land.
Yeah, she's sitting over there looking at him, but she ain't there. He just wants her to bring him back something. That's genius writing, man. That's Americana, He was down to earth. I mean, he really was.
Yeah, he was hilarious. Not Chevy Chase.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, I knew who you were thinking. I knew who you were thinking of. See.
He considers him like incredibly funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was. Have you seen that movie? What's it called?
Daddy and Them.
Daddy.
If you haven't seen Daddy and Them, that's something good to watch. It
really is.
If you have an odd sense of humor.
If you're in quarantine, watch that movie. Billy Bob Thornton, John Prine, they're brothers, and Andy Griffith is the dad.
Yeah. Laura Dern plays the love interest.
It's a good movie. Yeah. It's a good movie.
You also posted your top 10 albums.
I did. That's one of those things you see people post stuff on Facebook all the time. And Fred Poogie tagged me. It's like, it was like this.
He caught you at the right time.
He caught me at the right time.
You had a little time on your hands.
And I still didn't participate the right way because you were supposed to, like, every day you picked one for 10 days.
The thing? You picked an album.
Every day for 10 days, you picked an album that influenced your life or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was, no explanation. No anything, and you're supposed to tag somebody every day. Well, the first day I did one, and I tagged Chuck Cole, and I was like, I'm not tagging anybody else. I was like, why am I going to do that? So,
yeah.
But I did do an album for 10 days, every day. I think the very first one that I did was music that I really love, and it's kind of it's Southern to me, and it just puts me in a good mood. Right? Probably my favorite, one of the favorite bands. I have so many, it's hard to do that because really I would have had to done it 10 days by genre.
Yeah.
But Allman Brothers, Eat a Peach album. It's the ultimate Allman Brothers.
That's your phone. It's your phone ring.
I don't know how long I've had an Allman Brothers ringtone.
Since you knew how to make.
Since you could get ringtones. Yeah, since you could get ringtones. It's probably been over longer than Michael's been alive.
I've got yours pulled up. Do you remember? Do you know what number 2 was?
Waylon Jennings.
Johnny Cash.
Was it oh, there you go. That's for my dad. My dad thinks he used to, I don't know if he still does or not. I need to ask him. He used to think he was Johnny Cash. because we would go. It really would. I mean, this is a true story. I grew up on Johnny Cash. Man, he's from Dyers, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And recorded in Memphis Sun Studios, all that. But he's got so many good songs. And I grew up with him. I remember my dad gave me a Johnny Cash guitar chord book and wanted me to learn the songs. We used to go. So my dad would play harmonica, and I had an uncle that played guitar. And not professionally played harmonica, drank Budweisers and played harmonica.
On the front porch.
Yeah. Or just, no. We would go to the VA hospital, to nursing homes, and they would get up. My uncle was in a band, and my dad just liked to go and listen to music, and he loved Johnny Cash, so he learned the Johnny Cash on harmonica, and he would go up there and sing the Johnny Cash songs and play. And so they'd let him come up and do 2 or 3 numbers, and me and Waylon would have to dance with the old people. My mom had this old VCR. There's tapes of this somewhere. I don't know where.
Those big VCRs?
Yeah, the one you sit on your shoulder, and that's what we would do. We would go to the old folks' home, the VA, and stuff like that, and play music.
Would your dad do his hair like Johnny Cash?
I mean, he's always had that kind of pompadour, dark hair or whatever. But anyway, so that's number 2. And then number 3 was Waylon Jennings. I mean, come on, my brother's named after him. I mean, how could I not be a Waylon Jennings fan? I got to take a Waylon Jennings tattoo on my arm.
We actually own that Waylon Jennings album.
Yeah.
LP. It was my dad's, and I kept it.
We had it framed for a long time in the old house. I got several of them, but I grew up on Waylon Jennings too. I mean, my dad had. I know y'all probably seen them, but it's like one of these 6-foot long living room console stereos. It's like a piece of furniture. Yeah, I think that was the first piece of furniture my mom and dad ever bought.
It's like 2 speakers
when they got married. Yeah, but you couldn't tell the speakers.
Yeah,
it's got all like this red velvet stuff on it and screens, and it's awesome. Like the top lifts out, and it's got so we had 8 tracks and albums, and then one end is the radio. We had to adjust the big rolling dial, and that was that thing. They still got it. I guarantee you somewhere, and they can get rid of it. Older than I am. It's probably 46. Yeah, they got married 2 years before I was born, so I was 47 years old. That's old.
And you'd sit there and listen.
It still works. My dad still plays 8 tracks on it.
No,
I swear it does. Even after me and Waylon tried to rewire the speakers and hook the amp up to it to make it to where everybody goes through that electronic phase where you try to jack with stuff. But so we listened to Waylon Jennings. Then I started getting into music that influenced me more rock and roll. Yeah. And I would think the first one was Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. I remember to this day, my buddy Ian Brown got the tape. I guess his dad brought it for him. And this was like 1986.
How old were you?
6th grade as a Green Brick Gator. And Ian brought it over to my house, and I had one of these jam boxes that had the double tape deck. Yeah, he let me copy it, and so we would flip through, and it was like the insert on the cassette tape. They didn't have CDs back then. This was, I guess they had albums still. But it had like all these cartoon, but it was like Guns N' Roses stuff. It was like depicting drug use and all kinds of stuff. Did you know all that's what it was? No, I was come from daggone Christian elementary school to public school. This was new to me, and I found something like this. New stuff come to light, And I heard Axl Rose, and then I saw the video of him getting off the bus with the hayseed in L.A., and I was like, man, that's a whole new world. And then that music was just hard to me. I mean, Appetite it's one of those albums that you can listen to from start to finish, every single song. Then they're on tour right now, playing it. Well, I don't know if they are right now. They're not right now. But they were, and Waylon actually went and saw them I guess it was last summer.
No, it's been like 2 summers ago.
Has it been 2?
Yeah, it's been a while ago. That album I think you could release today.
It's still relevant. It was awesome. And there's so many good songs on it. Yeah. So many. But, and then what was after that? Black Crowes. That was, I remember seeing them open up for B.B. King right when they first come out with that album before anybody knew who the Black Crowes were.
Where'd you see that? Memphis Music Fest?
Yeah, Music Fest. Bill Street Music Fest.
I've seen a lot of people.
Oh man!
There.
And that album, the Shake Your Moneymaker album, it's epitome of Southern blues rock.
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of, you got that crossover. They went from
they were kind of hippies, but they
weren't a hair band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were more of a jam band before anybody. The Dead was still touring then, and they had that thing going on. They had that almost like a gospel influence with blues mixed with rock, and it was so good. They'd have the backup vocalist going, and it was I love the Black Crowes. And
they're touring now, or they were.
Oh, they're doing that album too.
Yeah.
I think they're doing the Moneymaker album.
But they're only doing that one album.
Is that
from
it?
start to finish? Is what I heard.
Yeah. And then let's say is that the 5th album?
That was the
what
5th.
was my 6th one?
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty. I mean, who can go wrong with Tom Petty?
You
He's another Southerner that people wouldn't know.
He's not Southern. He's from California.
No, he's not. He's from Tallahassee, Florida.
Is he?
Yeah. Everybody thinks Tom Petty's a California person or Californianer.
Really?
Yeah, no, he's a Southerner.
You picked Full Moon
Petty.
Fever.
That's the first Tom Petty album I ever had. Now,
Really?
there's some quiet. Now, I didn't know Petty. I mean, I didn't know rock and roll back then. My thing was country. That was what I was raised on, country and gospel. And then I got turned on to rock, and I found Tom Petty, and man, it was awesome. I still remember that whole. I mean, there were so many good songs on that one, but his most famous one I have is probably just his greatest hits.
That's the one that I was introduced to him.
Yeah.
The one that had Last Dance with Mary Jane on it.
Yeah.
That one kind of was like, I saw that video and heard that song, and it was like, I was like 12 or 13. I was like, whoa.
Full Moon Fever was like solo. And when he was with the Heartbreakers, is who we finished up with when we went and saw him this last tour. He was back with them, but that was just, that was the greatest hits was Heartbreakers and the greatest hits.
Yeah.
His solo stuff. His solo stuff was really good too. Like Full Moon Fever was a great album.
What's on Full Moon Fever?
Running Down a Dream, Free Falling.
Breakdown.
I don't know.
Or is that Heartbreaker?
I think that's it might be. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the track listings on it. It's been so long. I just remember getting that one. That was my first experience with Tom Petty, and I just think he's an awesome musician. And Tom Petty and Heartbreakers is awesome. That band, you don't realize how good that band is until you see him live and how they react to what he's doing. And it's just the tightest band that I've ever seen.
I agree. You expect it, especially at that age.
Yeah, at that
to be slipping a little bit. Man, they put on the best show
That was so good.
One of the better
I'm
shows
so
I've ever
glad.
seen.
He was always on my bucket list. I never got to go see him until this last tour before he passed away. And he played Memphis.
Yeah, we were actually planning a trip. We were going to take a trip. We both had Tom Petty on our list.
Yep.
We were going to take a trip, and when he released his new tour dates, he happened to have Memphis on it for the first time in forever.
That's right.
We went and saw him.
It was an awesome show. And Joe Walsh opened up for him, and he was good. I didn't pick an Eagles album. Eagles, man, they got some good music too, though.
Do you know what number 7 was?
After Tom Petty, did I go? Oh, Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, that's a whole different style of music there. But one of my favorite guitarists of all time, man,
Tom Morello.
he is awesome, and his solo stuff's good too. But if you've never seen, he's got a master class. Have you watched any of it?
I saw you watching some of it.
But Rage Against the Machine was just different to me when they come out. And that album, you could put it on there in your car, and it's like your pump up. If you need to get pumped up, that's what you listen to. And that's what that was like. We called it fighting music. If he's going out fighting, you'd have it on Rage. And I remember listening to that whole album. It was going with some of my buddies to Spring River. That we all worked down at the casinos, and we were going to Spring River for like a weekend, to go canoeing and fishing and all that. And my buddy Cullen, I think, brought that album and put it in, and we listened to it like the whole way to Arkansas, and then the whole way.
Had you heard it before?
No, that was brand new to me. I mean, first, and I was like, Rage is awesome.
They opened me up.
It's just one of those albums, a whole new genre of style of music.
Yeah, it opened me up to a whole new genre of music.
And
they really kind of ushered it in to mainstream.
Yeah, I think so. They went on. They split up, and the guys formed different bands. Like
they were Zach De La Roca's
really. Audio Slave was a good band that a lot of those guys formed.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
It was pretty much Cornell with the Rage people beside.
Yeah,
Zach, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. It was good. That was a great.
We saw them live. No, we saw Velvet Revolver.
Yeah, we went and saw. Okay. Yeah. That was Slash. That was like a Slash super band.
Yeah.
Scott Weiland, and that's one of mine. Was that? Let's see, what was after
8?
I'm not going to remember that one.
Take them on down.
Oh, North Mississippi All Stars. Yeah, you had to put that in there, man. They're from our hometown, Hernando. Luther and Cody and Big Chris Chew. I mean, that was a band, man. And you know what? Luther went on to tour with the Black Crowes. So they're a North Mississippi All-Stars.
He helped them
Grammy award-winning band playing Hill Country Blues from Hernando, Mississippi.
It's more of they call it boogie blues or walking blues or something like that.
It's upbeat,
what jam.
Yeah.
It's a jam blues.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
That album, man, it's got Poe Black Matty on it. It's got Shake 'Em On Down. It's got a bunch of good ones on it. That was the one that turned them on to me. Shake Hands with Shorty.
You could tell that influence in the Black Crowes album.
Yeah, and we saw them live. They played at Mud Island when Luther was with them.
Yeah.
Daughters of the Revolution that was the big song. Was that the name of the album? I don't know if it was or not, but that was that.
Maybe
that was a good one. And then let's see. So that was 8. 9 was Core, Stone Temple Pilots, and that was a heck of an album there. I was just looking, go back at the track. That's another one of those albums you can listen to the whole thing. And that band that was a genre turning. When Stone Temple Pilots come out with that. It was hard. It was like before Bush and a lot of those other bands. They kind of. The Scott Weiland was awesome.
Yeah,
he struggled. He had his demons.
Was Core before Purple?
Yeah. It was their first one. Purple was a good one too.
See, that's the one I got turned on to. Yeah, because I'm a few years behind you.
Man, the opening track, number 1. It's like,
that's Purple.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
It's Dead and Bloated. It's on Core. It's the very first track on Core.
Like a rose. That's
that's it.
Yeah.
That's song number 1 on Core.
Okay, maybe I had Core then.
Yeah, you had.
I'm checking that though.
It is. I promise you.
All right, what's number 10 of 10?
That was a hard one because there's so many that I wanted to keep going with. I could have done best of 365, but I had to pick something that I went with, and so I went back to another. What I call him, he's not a Memphis guy, but he spent a lot of time in Memphis, and he spent a lot of time in Memphis with John Prine. And I remember when my buddy Corey Brandon I almost put his album on there. He's like, I went to elementary school with him all the way up to graduated and even college. And he's still a
musician.
Yeah, he's an awesome musician.
In Nashville.
But he turned me on to Todd Snyder. And that's who it was, Todd Snyder. And I know everybody probably heard the song "All Right Guy." That's kind of when I think of Todd Snyder, I think of that song. But he's got so many good songs. He's a storyteller like John Prine, and I can just listen to his stuff, and I love the way he does. His live stuff's as good as anything he records, and a lot of his stuff. I mean,
You're right.
What? I know I'm right. But anyway, Todd Snyder. I'm a big fan of Todd Snyder. He lives in Nashville now. He spent a lot of time in Memphis, and that album was Songs of the Daily Planet. That's where we had our first Killer Hogs Crawfish Bowl, was at the Daily Planet.
We've actually seen Todd Snyder.
Play the Daily Planet.
Years later.
So in one band I know, I went through all these bands and was throwing stuff out, and I realized the band I've probably seen the most, besides the All-Stars, besides Todd Snyder, I didn't even put on my list. It was Pearl Jam. That Pearl Jam 10 album.
Pearl Jam.
And the only reason why I didn't, that was a really influential album to me, Pearl Jam 10, was because like the day Rodney and everybody else was putting Pearl Jam 10 on there, I said, well, I got to put different stuff than other people. So
let me tell you this story. So,
man, I keep jerking my dick. I'm here, Pete.
When we first started this business years ago, Michael was, I think, a little baby. I mean, we'd been doing stuff, but we had decided to get into the rub business. Yeah. We made a bunch of like rub
samples.
Yes, we made a bunch of rub on our table and turned it into little samples. Like we vacuum sealed it up in little samples and got Rodney to make us some stickers.
Right.
We stuck them on this little bag, and I took them to Memphis in May and was going to pass them out and make us. It was going to blow us up.
That was the year the Memphis Bay flooded. I did a video with that.
Yes.
The pork barrel guys, I was giving them one. I think I gave Tuffy some.
I thought it was just going to take us to the next level.
That was it.
So after Memphis in May was over and we did not place everything, we kind of sucked. We were like, well, Todd Snyder's playing at the Daily Planet. Let's go.
We did, didn't we? We went
and saw Todd Snyder at the Daily Planet, and I had like some rub samples still in my pocket, and I was determined to get one of our rub samples to Todd Snyder. I ended up giving it to his tour guy. I think his name was Elvis or something.
Hey man, can you give this to Todd?
He's like, okay. He walked back there and threw it in the garbage.
That was a great show, though. It was.
We were dirty.
Wasn't that an after show, though?
It smelled like smoke. Yeah, it was late.
Because we went to a double show that night. We went to Memphis in May.
We went and saw him at the Levitt Shell.
That's where it was. We left Memphis in May. We went to the Levitt Shell and watched him play a show. And then he said, if anybody wants to come hang out, we're doing a after show at the Daily Planet.
We went.
And I don't know what time it was when we left there. Whew, man, that's a good week.
That was back when I wouldn't do that now to save my life.
Oh, man. Good times. Well, hey, that's about all I got.
Todd had a chance.
Todd Snyder, man. I come in strong with number 10. If y'all don't know Todd Snyder, y'all go look him up.
So, Easter's this weekend.
It is. And, everybody needs to first think about why we celebrate Easter.
I agree.
I think that's a big, important thing. And spend some time with your family and stay quarantined so we can get over this mess and get everything back to normal.
I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
I hope so. Hope you're right.
I think they're fixing to let stuff back up. So this weekend, you were gonna cook a ham.
I'm gonna do a ham on Instagram, and I'm actually doing our Easter ham.
We're cooking it on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook it on Saturday and just reheat it Sunday, so I ain't got to get up. So we can get up and watch church service and take pictures and do everything we're gonna do on Sunday.
I got some eggs to hide too.
Yeah. Oh, do you really? Good.
I did. Yeah.
Good. We're going to do that. But if you want to follow us on Saturday on Instagram, I'll be sharing that in my stories, how I'm cooking the Easter ham that we're going to eat. And I'm not doing anything crazy to it. It's just going to be a good eating spiral ham. We're also...
I'm going to be doing some prepping for the
we're having
Easter dinner.
That's what I was going to ask you, the menu.
I got it wrote down. Let me tell you.
Yes.
You're doing the ham.
Right.
I'm going to do butter beans.
Yes.
Mac and cheese.
Yes.
Dressing.
The OG shell mac and cheese.
The OG shell mac and cheese.
Mama's cornbread dressing. Oh.
And carrots, roasted carrots.
Roasted. That's it. That's enough right there.
Rolls.
Deviled eggs.
And a strawberry dessert.
Oh.
And it's only for us.
That's gonna be.
You're just spoiled. You require us to celebrate.
I'm happy.
Celebrate these holidays to extreme levels.
But that sounds like a awesome Easter dinner.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So we'll be doing a little bit of that on Instagram.
I'm also cooking for the delicious dinners. I'm doing red beans and rice. Yep. So I don't know what day I'm gonna do that, but I got the stuff. Hopefully, if we gotta go pick up our click list order at 4:00. What time? Oh, it's after 4. Yes. Hope it's ready. It's bad. We're excited to get your click list.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, give me tell them where they can find us.
Tell them where they can find. I'm trying to say, I think people are texting me, want to know where the podcast is. So.
Oh, really? We're running a little late today. We had a lot of issues. Sorry. If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram. And hey, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Hope everybody has a happy Easter out there. Easter. And we'll see y'all next week. Good Lord's willing. Creek don't rise.